Hi there, Martha Masharia here. I pray you are well. God has been good to me, and He has been faithful. What can I say? He is such a good God. So I want to talk about marriage, and I'm really gonna give you nuggets, and then I will break them down in videos. So because this video will be very long if I start breaking those things down. So I'll just give you nuggets and tiny information. Before I do that, I've been married for, oh my goodness, 16 years. 16 years of marriage. There's one thing I want you to know. I have never seen my husband angry. I actually don't know how he looks like when he's angry. Somebody's gonna say, you're lying. No, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Angry at me. Actually, I don't really know how he looks. I think I've been angry at the kids. Maybe frustration. Let me say the word frustration, not angry. Frustrated. I've seen him frustrated, but angry, no. Frustrated, yes. Maybe they are the same thing. I don't know. Maybe to you, because I think anger as something where somebody is shouting at you. I don't know, saying all sorts of words. Maybe that's where I think of anger. Maybe that's what I need to do. Look at the difference between anger and frustration. Then I will be telling people nicely that I've seen my husband frustrated, but not angry. Maybe they are the same thing. Who knows? I'm actually looking at the meaning. So anger is a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. That's the way I think anger is like. You're hostile, you're annoyed, you're displeased. Frustration, on the other hand. Let's see. Frustration. Frustration is a feeling of being upset or annoyed, especially because of inability to change or achieve something. So that's frustration. You know what? Um, no, I've not seen him. If he has gotten angry, maybe he has dealt with it in his own way. But really, the reason is that's not something that I have actually seen him do. Is because he's a man of peace. My husband loves peace. You know that verse that says, "Live peaceably, whenever possible, live peaceably with all men." That's him. Peace. I remember somebody came to this home. Somebody had never come to our home, and they actually had to bring them over. I don't remember for something, and I think I was gonna take them somewhere else. Yeah. So the person entered the house. That the first thing the person noted, she actually told me this. God, there's so much peace in your house. Yeah, because the person who covers this home, God covers my husband, but my husband is a cover of this home. He's a cover of his family. And when you have a man of peace who covers his home, that's what comes out of him, peace. The second thing, I do not hit under the belt. I do not use my husband's weaknesses against him. I do not even mention his weaknesses. I don't do those things. I'll look at it, go pray about it, but I'm not going to use weaknesses against him. Now, before I get into this marriage thing, I'll go too far and I'll not be able to. I'll be now breaking down some things. But the first thing I want to say, first nugget about marriage is purpose to walk in unity. Very important. The enemy cannot, it's very difficult for the enemy to come and destroy you when you are united. It's actually, I nearly think it's impossible for him to destroy your marriage when you're united, because when you're united, you are going to face him with everything that you have. But when you're divided, he'll just come in there, he will be able to get in when there is division and even mess you up even more. So when you pick purpose to walk in unity as a man and wife. Number two, pray together and pray for each other. Okay, pray together and pray for each other. Now, I'll give you an example of me and my husband. My husband is doesn't talk a lot. He has less than 250 words actually. I talk more. I talk mine plus his. So he really, he doesn't talk much. So unless I probe to find out, honey, do you have a prayer item or do you have something that you'd like me to pray about? I would probably know very little. Now, me, he'll know everything that's in my mind because I tend to tell him. But for him, I have to ask. So it's good for you to know. Ask, is there any, do you have any prayer? Do you have something you want us to pray about? You have something you'd like me to pray about? Yeah, stuff like that. So pray together and pray for each other. The third thing is make your husband the king of your castle, and husband make your wife the queen. By the way, let me say this. These are not in order of importance. Okay. There is no order. I'm not saying number three is more important than number four. There is no order of importance. Maybe when I break them down, I think all of them are very important. But maybe when I break them down at some point, maybe there are some places I'll feel this is more important for you. So number three, make your husband the king. Wife, make your husband the king. And husband, make your wife the queen. Don't allow anyone, number four, to come in between you. And I'm going to caution this, especially to husbands whose mothers um, determine what goes on in their homes. Seriously. You will destroy your marriage. If your wife doesn't leave, you will just, your marriage cannot flourish. Because if your mother is the one who determines what happens in your house, um, first of all, you're going contrary to God's word. Okay? Nuclear family comes first. Nuclear family comes first. Don't allow your mother to have the say in your home. I'll break that down some other time. But don't allow anyone to come in between you and your spouse. Uh, that's what I meant, make your husband the king. Oh, that was number four. Number five, protect your family and your home. Protect it. And maybe that comes together with the one of not allowing people to come in between you. But as a husband, you're like the umbrella of your home. You're like the umbrella of that home. Okay. And if you allow things to come, they'll create holes in that umbrella. And that sun will burn you, it will burn you. That sun to come and burn you through the hole, or the rain will come and destroy things through the hole. So you're like the umbrella of your home. Protect it. Okay, protect it. Number five, have sex as often as you can. Have sex as often as you can. I don't even, this is a, by the way, this is a huge topic. I know maybe women don't think this is big deal, but men, this is a, women, this is a big deal for men. Okay, let's just get it right there. Just like the way um you just know sex is a big deal for husbands, and I'll break it down some other day because there's some other things that also happen when or when people become older, 40s, 50s, that really can affect this, and we'll probably deal with them later when I break all this down in another video. Numbers, the other number, whatever that is, I don't even know. Do not compare your marriage with another. Do not compare your marriage with another. I remember one day this lady wrote, "Oh, my husband, guess what, guys? My husband brought me breakfast in bed." And I remember somebody else was saying, "Oh, my husband doesn't do that." Yeah, go look for something that your husband does. That it's not about who does better, who doesn't do better. It's what do they do for you, and what do you do for them. Don't compare your marriage to another. I'm telling you, if you want to destroy your marriage, start telling your husband you need to do what so and so does. No. The other thing is be good friends. Be good friends. You know, when you're good friends, there's nothing you really cannot tell a friend. Be good friends. A very close friend of mine taught me one day, if you have something that you cannot tell your husband, then maybe you should tell God instead. Because sometimes you will say it out there, and then it comes back, it comes around and you hear about it, or he hears about it. Just be good friends, be open with one another. Okay? So be good friends. The other thing, as I say, I think the last point I will say is don't use your spouse's weaknesses against them. Don't use your spouse's weaknesses against them. it will ruin your marriage. The other thing is, and this is the last one, as I said, they are not in any order. Have a way of have create ways of conflict resolution that work for you. Okay, don't be put sweeping things under the carpet. Those don't work. I remember I was listening to a lady. She just had no. Maybe I guess this was her explanation of why this was happening. At back home, there are many children in the family, so they just didn't. There was no way of the way they solved conflicts in the house was they if so and so is not talking, Mary and Margaret they are not talking, or if Margaret has refused to talk to you, you have all these other people to go and talk to. So by the time you come back, it's been put under the table, under chairs, under carpets. So there was no learning of how to solve an conflict. So when she got married, she was the kind who just be so angry, so angry. And she just did not know how. In fact, I remember her saying that she would walk out of the house. She'd walk out of the house even in the night, okay? Or she would, out of anger, she would really bend like a spoon, you know? So, learn conflict resolution. Again, as I said, I will break all those down. And yes, I've been married for 16 years, but I can tell you, God has taught me a lot. That's one. And two, God gave me a mother who I have learned a lot from. And there are so many things I go back, I look at my mother's life and I pull out just lessons that that she has taught me just by living her life. My mother never sat down and told us, never even today has my mother ever sat down and told us this is how you should treat your husband, or this is how you should do this to the husband. My mother never. My mother lived and continues to live. When I call her, because she's in her 70s, they've been married for years. I don't even know how many years have they been married. 46, 46 years. They've been married for 46 years. And yeah, oh my God, it's been 46 years. And even till today, when I call her, and she will tell me, hey, you do need to talk to your dad. And maybe I was in a hurry, but she will not let me get out of that phone, not talk to my dad. And or she and I ask her, hey, what are you making for him? Because they are just they are empty nesters now. And she was like, oh, today I'm making him this, I'm making him this. And she makes sure he eats right, he eats, I mean, he just eats well. And she really takes care of him. As they are aging, she still does what she's supposed to do. And she's been an example to us, not by telling us, but by living it. Okay, so anyway, I'll break all that down one day. Preparing actual materials on marriage. I love marriage. I love to see marriages flourishing. And to me, you're always teaching your children, whatever it is you do in your marriage, you are actually writing a book for your children. So when you don't do right when you have children, they will also make certain mistakes that can end up being very costly. Remember, in the times of our parents, they still stuck through even when things were really bad. But nowadays, that's a story of another day, because some things you hear, you're like, that's the reason. Anyway, so let me say this. I'll talk about marriage as I go. I'm thinking maybe Thursdays will be my marriage videos, relationship videos, parenting videos will come out on that day. And on Tuesdays, I will do my encouragement ones. This week is going to the encouragement one will be on a Wednesday, which is on a Wednesday, but next week, encouragement and maybe some other teaching will be on Tuesday. Marriage, relationships, parenting will be on Thursday. So, anyway, I pray that you will have a wonderful week. And until next time, this has been Martha Masharia. God bless you.